Pandora, the origin of evil. The beautiful trap. After Prometheus stole fire from Olympus and gave it to mankind, civilization began to flourish. Humans were no longer cold or hungry. They were becoming powerful. Zeus looked down from his throne and seethed with anger. He knew he couldn't simply take the fire back, so he decided to punish humanity with a gift they couldn't refuse. He conceived a plan to create the ultimate distraction, a beautiful evil that men would embrace to their own destruction. Zeus commanded Hephaestus, the master smith, to mix earth and water and mold a creature in the likeness of the immortal goddesses. It was the first woman. Until this point, in Greek mythology, humanity consisted only of men. The gods gathered to endow this new creation with gifts, which is the meaning of her name, Pandora, all gifted. Athena clothed her in a shimmering silvery gown and taught her needlework and weaving. Aphrodite poured grace upon her head and filled her heart with painful desire and longing. Hermes gave her a shameful mind and a deceitful nature, along with the power of speech and lies. Finally, the Graces and the Seasons adorned her with golden necklaces and spring flowers. She was breathtaking. She was irresistible. She was a trap wrapped in skin and silk, and she was ready to be delivered. The warning ignored. Prometheus, the titan of forethought, was wise enough to see Zeus's trap coming. Before he was changed to the mountain, he had strictly warned his brother, Epimetheus, Afterthought, never to accept any gift from Zeus. "Send it back," Prometheus had said, "for the gods do not give gifts to men without a price." But Epimetheus was not like his brother. He lived in the moment. He saw the world as it was, not as it could be. When Hermes arrived at Epimetheus' door, guiding the stunning Pandora by the hand, Epimetheus forgot everything. He forgot the warning. He forgot the danger. All he saw was the most beautiful being he had ever encountered. He accepted her into his home and made her his wife. For a time, they lived happily. The world in those days was free from trouble. There was no sickness, no hard labor, and no old age. Men lived easy lives thanks to the fire Prometheus had given them. But Pandora had brought something with her. It was a large earthen jar, often mistranslated as a box in later centuries. Zeus had given her to her as a wedding gift, with one simple, strict instruction: never open this jar. The unbearable curiosity. Zeus knew exactly what he was doing. He hadn't just given Pandora beauty, he had given her curiosity. Day after day, the jar sat in the corner of their home. It whispered to her. What could be inside? Jewels? Nectar? A spark of divine fire? Why would the king of gods give a gift that could not be used? The prohibition gnawed at her mind. It became an obsession. She would walk past it, touch the cold clay lid, and pull her hand away. Epimetheus, blissful in his ignorance, didn't seem to care. But Pandora could not let it go. One fateful day, when she was alone, the temptation became too strong. Just a peek, she surely thought. Just a tiny glimpse to see what treasures lie inside. She knelt before the jar. Her hands trembled as she lifted the heavy clay lid. The moment the seal was broken, it wasn't gold or jewels that flew out. It was a black, swirling mist of horrors. From the dark depths of the jar, the Keres, the spirits of evil, escaped into the world. Sickness flew out, silent and invisible, to plague the bodies of men. Old age emerged to steal their youth and strength. Toil and hardship flew out to make every day a struggle for survival. Jealousy, greed, spite, and sorrow filled the air like a swarm of stinging insects. Pandora, terrified, tried to slam the lid back down. She scrambled to seal the jar, but it was too late. The cloud of misery had already spread out the windows and doors, infecting the entire world. The golden age of humanity was over. The era of suffering had begun. Pandora collapsed, weeping. She had single-handedly destroyed the paradise that Prometheus had fought so hard to build. But the story does not end in total darkness. As Pandora sat crying beside the jar, she heard a tiny sound coming from inside. It wasn't a scream or a roar. It was a small, fluttering noise, like the beating of a bird's wings. She hesitated. Should she open it again? Hadn't she done enough damage? But the voice inside was gentle. So, with trembling hands, she lifted the lid one last time. Out flew a small, bright spirit. It was Elpis, Hope. Zeus, in his complex cruelty and mercy, had trapped Hope at the very bottom of the jar, beneath all the evils. Why? Some say it was to ensure that when humanity suffered the tortures of sickness and death, they would not give up. They would still have the will to endure. Hope flew out into the world to heal the wounds inflicted by the other spirits. It didn't remove the pain, but it made the pain bearable. The legacy of the first woman. The myth of Pandora is often compared to the story of Eve in the Bible, the first woman whose curiosity leads to the fall of man. It reflects an ancient worldview that saw women as both a beautiful gift and a source of complication for men. But there is a deeper meaning. Before Pandora, humanity was like a child, safe but stagnant. With the release of the contents of the jar, the human experience became complete. We now know suffering, yes, but because of that, we also know the power of resilience. Prometheus gave us the tools to survive, fire. Pandora gave us the reason to keep going, hope. Without the evils of the jar, we would be gods. But without hope, we would be nothing. We exist in the space between, struggling, suffering, but always, always hoping for a better tomorrow.